Mrs. Jadesola. I'm so happy to be with you this morning. Founder of STEM Mets. So good to have you this morning.
Thank
Morning.
you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome, awesome. You look great.
Thank you.
Today, what we do at BAMCO, we seek mothers who are doing great and amazing things. And we are so blessed and proud of you for the amazing work you do with the children in an unconventional field in these parts. So you're welcome.
Thank you.
So today we just want to talk about what inspired you to start STEM Meds, how it has been with the children, with you. You know, you're a mom of humans and you're also STEM Meds mom.
Yes, so
So and also working with other children who are not your biological children, but they are STEM Meds children.
they all
So
are.
yeah, that's what we'll be talking about today. So what inspired you to start STEM Meds?
Well, about 11 years ago, if not a bit longer, let me circle back. 15 years ago, we moved back to Nigeria from Canada.
Okay.
My son was 10, my daughter was 6 at the time. And so they started school here. And I found that my son was struggling, you know. In our Nigeria setup, a lot of cramming and regurgitating, as I call it. And I saw that he was really struggling with that. He's more sort of analytical, show me, and I can do things with my hand. He just learns differently. And so when we were in Canada, they always used to go for summer camps. And summer camps could be arts, it could be science. He was a real science buff. And so for me, I was used to learning outside of the school system, to learn as many things as you can. But I found that we didn't really have that in Nigeria. So the first 3 years that we moved back, we actually used to go back to Canada for camps. In fact, I remember one summer we went as far as California just so he could go to a digital camp. So we're able to spot his interests quite early, both of them actually. And so on one of the trips that we went to the US again for camp, I came across a program that drew my attention called Bricks for Kids, where they use Lego as a tool to teach children. And I thought that was so interesting. He already loves Lego. I mean, from age 5, he was building without instruction and would build all sorts of wonderful things. I remember one time he built this huge Ferris wheel,
Wow.
from the pattern. And I thought it was so beautiful. I used it, decorated it, left it there. Woke up one morning, came down, he had dismantled. I mean, I could have cried. And he just looked at me and said, it's
I
not a
can
big
build it.
deal. That he wanted to make other things. So he dismantled it. So that Lego thing caught my attention that there are alternative tools and ways that you can teach. And in fact, Bricks for Kids logo is that, they think they're playing, but they're learning or something
Yeah,
like that.
definitely.
So we went, it was in Florida. We were going to Florida, and the company had actually happened to be near where we were. It was about an hour away. So we drove there, went to talk to them about, hey, what do you think about bringing this program to Nigeria? With my co-founder, we were talking about it that this would be great for Nigerian kids. We don't really have that. So it turns out that the company themselves have been looking to come to Nigeria. They just haven't found the right partner.
Wow.
So that's how the holiday turned into a business trip. My friend that I was staying with, who went on to be our co-founder, was like, "Look, let's just do this." So without any business plan, without any, competitor survey, blah blah blah, we decided to get together and create this company that will provide sort of supplementary education to children using alternative and creative learning tools. So that's how STEMmed was born and birthed. My background isn't in education. I actually trained and worked as a pharmacist for almost 20 years.
Wow.
But coming back home, observing my children, observing the needs, observing the gap in the system was what really now made us start STEMmed.
Awesome. What role do you think STEM education plays in shaping the future of children?
So STEM education isn't just all about science. I know over the years, parents say, my child doesn't like science like that. It's actually a thinking program.
Mm,
It helps develop, your analytical skills. It's problem based. So the whole idea is for you to be able to develop skills that helps you problem solve. That is really what STEM education is about.
wow.
And how does it do that? Because it's interdisciplinary. So it has science, it has technology, it has engineering and math. And it's all those components that you're putting together to bring to the table to solve a problem. That's actually what STEM education is. And it's really more than science. So there's the technical aspects of things, but then there's also the soft skills part of things. It helps with collaboration. Oftentimes in a project, you're working as a team. So that individualistic thing that let me just be in my
Mm,
corner, it kind of helps with that. It helps with communication. You have to talk to your team members. You have to be able to relate. It helps with critical thinking. So I know there's a problem, or if I'm building Lego, I know there's steps. I need to take this, I need to bring this, I need to organize and coordinate myself. So it goes beyond that. So there what we call learning skills. There's also life skills. It helps you to take the initiative, productivity as well. It helps you with research skills that, okay, I need to get to the bottom. What information do I need to solve this problem? If it's technology related, okay, I can use, digital skills or digital literacy skills. I know people are thinking, but my child is only 3.
mm,
Well, there are a lot of sorts of age appropriate programs that are doing all those things indirectly. So with us as STEM mates here, our programs start from age 3. And what we've done also that I feel makes us unique in how we run our programs is that we've kind of looked around the world. What are programs that, one, are children specific, two, have evidence of results, and three, what is it that they're doing all over the world that we can bring here to our children? So a lot of our programs are actually exclusive partnerships that we have. So Bricks for Kids is from the US. We have another one for the younger kids, Kiddie Science, that's from Finland. We have a program from Sweden. So it's like we've gone to look, how are they doing it best around the world? How is it benefiting their children? And how can we bring that to our children here in Nigeria? With our schools, yes, our schools, children have to go to school, but there are a lot of other things that they're not learning in school that they're able to learn here. And so that's what we're bringing, through our company, through our programs, that we can work with the traditional schools. It benefits the children to have these skills that they can even take into the traditional setting for them to be able to learn better. The bottom line is you need to be able to think. Not everybody will be a coder or whatever. You don't
mm-hmm.
have to be a scientist. You just need to be able to
Think.
apply proper thinking methodology to the way you approach things.
Yeah, because I was just thinking when you said your partnership with schools, because I'm just thinking if the children only come on holidays,
Yes. What happens?
what happens
Mm,
the other time? They probably
mm,
forget if they're
mm-hmm,
not practicing, because it's when you
exactly.
do things over and over again that you can apply it and it
Mm-hmm.
can help you. So, in what ways have you been able to partner with schools for a
Yeah.
continual learning for the children?
Sure. So, I mean, 11 years ago when we started, a lot of these concepts were new. It wasn't easy trying to talk to schools about it or get them to understand what it is. But I have to say, so when we started them, we used to run our programs, and we still do in some schools as after school clubs.
Okay.
So then parents can sign the kids up and things like that. And then during the holidays, we would have our program. So we actually run programs throughout the year. We
Okay.
run every single holiday. We have a camp. So
Okay.
Easter, summer, half term. So that way the kids are continuing one. And
Mm-hmm.
then two, we have private classes. So after this camp, some parents will be like, you know what, I want my children to continue to this. So our facilitators can go to the home.
Okay.
And then thirdly, we still have partnerships with schools where we run it as extracurricular. And post COVID, we started doing what was called co-curricular, where it's actually subjects in their timetable for
Mm.
some schools. So we
Wow.
started to do that as well.
Wow. Well done.
And yeah, and then we also work with corporates. So it could be that um, a corporate part of their sustainability projects. education is not just painting the school and changing the toilets, which I think is necessary, but all about the content of what we're learning. So we have a partnership with Leventis over the last 3 years where we go into the public schools around Apapa, where their head office is, and we run programs for children in the public schools as well. So
Wow.
it's not just for people whose parents
You
can
can
afford
afford.
it
Okay.
and pay, and that way we're being inclusive and just extending it to as many children as possible.
Nice. Thank you. So, as a STEM program founder in an unconventional field, what
Mm.
were the challenges you faced and how did you overcome them
I
in the
think in the
beginning?
beginning, like I said, it was education, educating the parents about what it is that we're doing. Because of course, our first program was with Lego, and I was like, "Should they're just playing with Lego? They have Lego at home."
Mhm.
So it was educating our parents, educating our school, educating the general public. I know STEM is everywhere now. I'm happy. STEM is like the in thing or has been. So that awareness is there, which is great. But I think the education was really the biggest angle, and it's just really going at it. So our approach when we started was, like I said, camp and also going to schools. We might get to some schools, they won't even let us pass the gate.
Gates.
You know, sometimes if you got past the gate, you didn't get past the receptionist
Mhm.
because if they don't understand what you're talking about. So what we now started to do was that, you know what, we'll go directly to parents. So any fun day, anything that we know parents and children will be at, we'll
Mhm.
have our table there. And that way we were able to talk to our parents directly because some of those schools may not let us in, but there's some parents in there
That
who
can
may
make
want
things.
it
Yeah.
for their own children. So that was the way we overcame some of those barriers or blockers in the end. And it was just a matter of just not stopping. And then, secondly, perception that, well, it's a kind of science tech thing. The assumption is that it's the man running it. So in the early days, when people sent me emails, dear Mr. Adedeji, and I wouldn't correct them. I'll be like, you know what, let our work speak for us, blah, blah, blah. Of course, with the advent of social media, I noticed that that kind of helped change things a bit. So I started to do videos that I was there. I was like, oh, it's actually a woman doing it, which in some ways gave
Yeah.
mothers and parents
Exactly.
comfort
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
some of them were like, where is it that my children are going?
Yeah.
And then secondly, people were like, "Oh, I didn't know you were the one doing that." So that kind of credibility,
Mhm.
safety, confidence,
Mhm.
in like, you know what? Okay, I think I like this person.
Mhm.
This person seems to know what they're doing. I think my child will be safe in this environment. So perception as
Mhm.
well matters. So I think even I had to come out from behind the scenes,
Mhm.
to just showcase myself, which I
Mhm.
was reluctant to at the beginning.
Tell me about it.
But I think that was super
Helpful.
useful to give the parents that peace of mind. Yeah. And we continue to do that in as many ways as we can.
So, anyway, it has dovetailed to my next question of how do you balance the role as a mom
Mhm.
with the demands of starting a new program?
Yeah.
So, when you go back and even though your child were a bit grown,
Hmm.
so how did you still manage it and balance being a mom and being a
Yeah.
founder?
Yeah. Yeah. I think support is a principal thing. Support at home. My husband was very, very supportive in even starting the business in terms of the idea, and in the cases where we're like, there's no money, where are we going to do this? Or how are we going to work this out? Someone believing in you that, you know what, you can do this one. And two, this is something that's really needed, to transform people's lives, the future of Nigeria, actually.
Yeah.
There's a whole generation that have really been failed and missed out. How do we start in our own little way, bring that restoration? So I think that support at home is very important. And then, of course, in the workplace, so your team is so important. One, them understanding and buying into the concept and the dream, and trying to find the right people. So I remember at the beginning, there were maybe just three of us. There was myself and one of my first operations manager. And it's like in those days, you did everything. So, we're going to school after school club. Okay, I still needed to pick my daughter up and things like that. My sister, I remember the first after school club we did at one of the schools here in Lagos. We were so overwhelmed by the number of people that signed up. So
Wow.
my friend, my sister, my everybody kind of chipped in,
Wow.
because the response was just so awesome. So I think definitely that support system, either at home and finding the right team, is critical. So that's how we've been able to do it and continuing to do it as well. So investing in the people that we work with is really important.
Mhm. Wow. Well done. As a mom, how do you encourage your own children to explore STEM subjects, and what activities do you enjoy doing together?
Mm. So I think for me, even though my daughter disagrees, she said they were brainwashed. I think when they were young, I exposed them to as many things as possible.
Okay.
So they did sports, they did art, they did reading, whatever, they did, painting, beading, everything available because you won't know what their interests are.
So what advice would you give to other moms who want to start a STEM program or encourage their children to explore STEM subjects? So I was thinking, especially people like some of us,
Hmm.
you know, is it just for children? Do you have plans to go levels ahead to teach adults and
Yes, I think that's kind of part of our plan. So the center is supposed to be a sort of STEM learning institute, right?
okay.
So we'll do the children, as I mentioned, do the teacher training. And funnily, as you said, even parents, it could be, coming in examples of the types of things you can do at home with your children. Even baking is a STEM. There's a STEM angle to
Mm,
baking, and just maybe it's funny. Parents have said that in jest that we too now,
yeah.
But honestly, I think it's something that
Can
we
explore.
are we're looking at exploring or would love to explore in terms of just also capacity building with the parents actually, in terms of things they can do or educational tools they can explore and just maybe having a session. So yeah, I think maybe we'll put that on our list of various things that just to get the word out and empower our parents as well.
How do you think parents can support their children's interest in STEM, even if they don't have STEM background themselves?
So, you know, now compared to I would say 10, 15, 20 years ago, there's so much resources that's out there that's available. It could be STEM driven or STEM educational toys, programs, and activities. So you don't have to be an expert in it, but there are resources available. So either through books, through videos, YouTube University in
Mm-hmm.
itself, So I think the resources are there. It's just really looking out for them. So again, part of what we are looking to do is even, have a section which is STEM resources, home STEM resources that you can either purchase and do at home with your kids and things like that. So our dreams have a lot of tentacles, but like I said, being that one-stop resource for everything STEM for our parents and children.
So, what are some common misconceptions about STEM education that you'd like to dispel?
STEM is not coding. Coding is not STEM.
Okay.
It's an aspect of it because we get phone calls. Oh, do you people do STEM? Yes. Or oh, you don't do coding? Yes, we do. So are you doing STEM? Or are you doing, So it's science, technology. Coding is the technology aspect of that. So
Okay.
that technology could be coding, it could be animation, it could be 3D design, it could be game development, So it's not interchangeable. Oh, you people don't do STEM or you people don't do coding. Oh,
Coding.
okay, let me, that coding is not the only
Is
aspect of
encompassing.
yeah. So I think that would be a big thing.
Okay.
Oh, my child is arty. They're not
Mm,
really interested in that engineering thing. Fantastic. Art actually is part of STEM,
mm,
because if you're building something, there's an art component to it. If you're designing it, there's an art component to it, right? So
mhm,
your child will be an arty person, but in this technology-driven world, they still need to know and understand technology.
mhm.
So you could be an artist, you're doing digital art. So there's the technology of
Even
STEM.
fashion.
I was going to say fashion, even being a lawyer, You're putting together some piece or whatever, or ChatGPT is your friend. You need to know how to use AI to even process that medical health. There's nowhere that STEM and technology isn't playing a part. There's no sector actually that it isn't playing a part. So saying that they're an art student and feeling that that's the only sector that they should be in, I think we're doing that child a disservice. And even as an artist, you need to be able to think, process things. You need to be able to, some of them use technology to put colors together and imagine things. So honestly, I think it's for everyone.
Say to moms that are still thinking, are worried, seeking advice of being something else about apart from momming. Being a mom is great, but you can be other
Other
things.
things,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I would say being open to learning. You can learn anything at any age. Being a mommy is not a sort of death sentence or, you are less. You were something or someone before you became a mommy, right? That's just a new role in your life journey. You can learn. I think that's the first thing I would say. And I think secondly, don't fall into that pressure that, oh, I need to have to do something. I think it's good to take time. When I moved back to Nigeria, I didn't plan to be a business owner in Nigeria or be in education. Like I said, my background is in pharmacy. So I assumed that I was going to go in the healthcare field. So when I came, it actually took me 3 years, and in that 3 years, the observation of what was going on with my children and their learning, and also observing the environment and kind of seeing that gap was what made me go into it. I think sometimes there's a pressure of sorts, or there's a feeling that, oh, I have to do it. So I think learn, study the environment, and then don't don't follow that herd mentality. Oh, they said it's hair that's selling. Oh yeah, let me to go and do it. Oh, they said that it is shapers that is giving. Let me to go and do it. Oh, I just want to open a shop, and be a boss lady. Meanwhile,
Not finding what you are made for.
yeah, finding what you're made for and finding that gap in the thing. And it doesn't have to be glamorous and luxurious, please. If it's that. So, talking about learning something new, a few weeks ago, we went and did a technology thing in Ilorin. And while we were there, I decided to buy sweet potatoes, buy it. And I was like, this is so cheap. So I kind of as of last week, I started a food farm entrepreneur experiment. What would it look like to, again, deal with rural farmers, bring the food to Lagos? I know a lot of people are doing it and people doing it. But what would that look like even starting selling to my friends and whatever? Am I a farmer? No. Am I an agri person? No. You know, and it's okay to try and experiment things, and it's okay to fail, but don't do things for the wrong reason, is what I would say, to a mom. Don't open a shop and sell shoes because, well, that's the thing to do. Mm-mm. Learn, observe the market, and, don't follow that herd mentality, is what I would say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate being here with you today. And we say well done and we
Thank you.
wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much. And well done to you as well. Thank you. Thank you.